Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Ding Dong Date in the relationship advice subreddit. The post is titled, "I found out my wife has been cheating on me online with a young guy. She first started talking to this guy last year when he was 17 and my wife was 24. She became withdrawn, let a lot of things slide, and lost interest in her hobbies, the household, the kids, her friends, and me. She admitted to me in tears that she had started chatting with a guy from Omegle one night when she was bored. They exchanged contact details. She made a Snapchat just for him, and so did he. They began chatting there regularly. This guy is handsome, young, an athlete, and as fit as can be. He's funny, he's awesome, he mesmerizes her and makes her laugh all the time. She found herself falling for him and admitted her mistake to me. I was so sad and upset, but I forgave her. She promised to block him and remove her app. Things were cool for a while, but months later, I found out she still had Snapchat. She said it was for her other friends. I pushed the issue, and it turned out she was still talking to the guy. I was not okay with this. She said they were just friends. I told her to block his ass. She said she did. Around December of last year, I discovered she had never blocked him. She was still talking to him. I was so fucking mad. I broke into her phone one day, saw her Snapchat open, and found a message from him. It said, "I love you." I scrolled up more and saw a picture of my wife's breasts staring me in the face. She had sent him a picture of her breasts for his birthday. Once more, she blocked the guy. I thought things were fine, but I was starting to lose my feelings for my wife. One time around Christmas, my oldest daughter told me excitedly that she had a phone call with Sebastian the Crab. Like Ariel's buddy from the Disney movie The Little Mermaid, I shrugged it off. I mean, 4-year-olds make things up all the time. Right. She has a very rich imagination. She constantly insists she's a real fairy or princess and claims to have magic powers and whatever. I found out just yesterday that my wife never stopped talking to the guy until this past February when he suddenly ghosted her. This makes sense because she was very sad and depressed at the time. She then deleted all her apps and accounts in anger and now has no way of contacting the guy or being contacted by him. I'm not sure if I even believe that anymore, but sure. She was sharing everything with me like she wanted to get it off her chest. I just let her talk and she admitted to it all. She said she really fell in love with him. She mentioned how she had read a lot on Quora about polyamory and that she felt like she could love multiple people at once. That her love for me had not diminished by loving another guy. I called bullshit. Then she admitted that she even had voice calls with the guy at night when I was away. I often worked the night shift. At times, our oldest daughter would wake up and he would talk to her too. He sang her to sleep a few times. He pretended to be Sebastian the Crab, which is what my daughter had tried to tell me. I think she tried to tell on her mama, but I shrugged it off. I am so insanely angry that she would allow herself, as a grown woman, to fall for some boy on the other side of the globe. I feel betrayed that she showed her body to him. What makes me the maddest, however, is that he talked to my fucking daughter. He even saw her picture and a video. He called her Little Dua, like the singer Dua Lipa, because he thought she looked like a toddler version of her. The whole thing is so creepy. The fact that he was just 17 when my wife and he met online is creepy to me. The fact that she allowed him to talk to our firstborn daughter, it's all messed up. I fear she may have wanted to run off with the guy. She has talked a lot about where he lives, California, and I'm just weirded out by that too. I don't know what to do. I'm heartbroken. My wife and I have a 4-year-old daughter, a 2-year-old daughter, and she is currently pregnant. She blamed some of her behavior on pregnancy hormones, which is nonsense. She also tried to subtly push polyamory on me. I'm so done with her. But I also love our daughters and do not want them to grow up in a broken home. She has gone back to normal in some sense. She does her hobbies, she cares for the kids, and she runs the household as before. She is sweet to me at times, we make love often, but most of the time, as much as it pains me to say it, I feel nothing. I'm 27 years old. Last year, I felt that I had it all. I felt on top of the world. Now, I feel like I've already lost it. About 4 days later, OP created an update. Here's an update. I have read all the responses to my previous topic, but did not have time to respond to each of them individually. The common thought seems to be that I need to man up and take responsibility for my life, and many have advised me to kick out my wife or seek legal counsel and start gathering evidence. Financially speaking, as a young father of soon-to-be 3 kids, I cannot just call up a lawyer like that. We are not Americans and we are not in America either, so I do not know which laws apply to our situation. The guy she had her emotional affair with, however, is in the States, but they lost contact, and my wife claims she does not know his last name or exact location, only his first name. Some have suggested she was the one being catfished, but she says no because she had video calls with the guy and he looked like the images he had previously sent her. My wife admitted a lot of things to me in our talk. For example, she's a singer-songwriter, or rather she tries to be one. She has written many passionate, romantic, and sweet loving songs over the last half year. I was touched by them before, thinking they were about me. It turns out they weren't. They were about that guy. This devastated me. The whole affair, my wife said, inspired her. She told me about how hardworking the guy is, how he is going to a top university, and how clever and bright he is. She said she considers me lazy and not ambitious enough, that I am good with the kids and a decent provider, but that I am not really someone she sees as being capable of greatness. She likes that I look good and our kids look good and that I focus on their well-being. But she needs a life partner, not just a babysitter. This infuriated me because when I take care of my kids, I am not just a babysitter. I am their father and I am caring for them because I love them and am responsible for them. She admitted she often thinks of going back to her own country and living with her parents. My in-laws are quite well-to-do and my mother-in-law has a lot of time on her hands to help out. My wife is not originally from the same country as me. My wife said she would take the kids and follow her dreams in the city where she studied, which she thinks will give her a better chance at success. She also regrets marrying me in the first place. She says that she wouldn't have married me if she had known at the time how lazy I was. For the record, I am not lazy. I work the night shift 3 nights a week and also work during the day on several other days. On the evenings I am home, I manage to cook at least twice a week. I do the groceries, pick the kids up from school, and regularly put them to bed. I handle the kids on evenings I am free to allow my wife to go to classes to develop herself. She is pregnant and I massage her at times for up to 90 minutes so her back and legs won't be too painful. I'm a hero to that woman and she does not realize it. Instead, she compares me to some other guy she's never even met in person, and somehow I don't quite measure up because I didn't go to a top school. I'm not rich and I'm less ambitious, which makes me lazy and useless in her eyes. So now I'm looking at my options. I'm 27 years old. I am in decent shape and am not a bad-looking guy. I'm a good father, I'm a good provider, I'm a good son and a loyal friend. I've been a good husband too, but apparently I'm not good enough. Well, guess what? Neither is she. She's far from sufficient. She's far from good enough. But I never say even 1% of the hateful and negative shit she says to me. Never. I have told her all of this. I have told her how I feel, that I do not feel respected, that I feel like shit, treated like shit, and tossed aside like shit, and that I will not continue to support her and her dreams if this is what she wants to do. I also told her that she is not going to take the kids anywhere. If she wants to leave, she can, but she will do it by herself. I reminded her of the fact that she is not yet a citizen of my country, whereas our kids are. I have taken our kids' passports and am holding them with me as I write this. I am not letting go of them. If she wants to leave, she can, but it will just be her and the unborn baby leaving, and she won't be taking any of my stuff with her. The laptop she has been using to chat with the guy is now with me too. I bought her that laptop. I'm taking it back. I'm taking back control of my life. I am still considering what further steps I will take, but whatever she has planned, I'm not about to lie down and take it. Since our conversation, we have attended a family event together. My wife pretended to be fine. She has stopped saying negative things to me. She's not on her phone anymore. I distrust her, but even though I have told her where the door is, she has not left the house either. I think she is backing down a bit now. In the comments, user Feral Energy said, "God, the warnings were right. This was exhausting to read. And in response, user Comfortable Ant said, I stopped at some point, maybe 25 to 50% through it. I don't need to read anymore. This shit is fucked. I hope that guy is doing better. Some people are completely and utterly worthless. That woman will never have happiness. Another user named Totally Stoned 3 said, the wife is a certified loser and he needs to kick her out and get a divorce. That's it. That's the comment. This next post was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named Alternative Tale. The post is titled, I didn't fulfill my fiance's wish on our wedding day. Throwaway account. I would appreciate your honest opinion as I'm being pressured by everyone except my aunt to go against my wishes. I'm a 30-year-old woman. I have been with my fiance, Sarah, for the last 5 years. We are the same age and we met in grad school. When I was 13, my loving dad passed away. He left a decent amount of money for us. Within 6 months, my mom got engaged to a guy named Bob. Bob had a daughter around my age. My mom married Bob within a year of my dad's passing. Bob really hated me from the start and didn't even try to hide it. He would say things like my mom should have sent me to a boarding school, or that if it weren't for my dad's inheritance, he wouldn't have me in his house. He also called me a bull dyke because I was on our school sports team and was very athletic. He told my mom multiple times that he didn't feel safe when his daughter was around me. I wasn't even out yet. He used this as a reason to exclude me from pretty much everything. My mom, on the other hand, went above and beyond to prove to Bob that she was the new mom for his little princess. They ended up having 3 more kids. Basically, I was a roommate who did babysitting for my mom and her new family. I never had a birthday party or a special day. My dad's sister was amazing to me. I was at her place all the time. She and her family had birthday celebrations for me, but my mom always made excuses not to show up. Of course, the rest of them never showed up either. I was really my aunt and uncle's daughter. They were amazing to me. When I left for university, I contacted my mom a few times, but she was always busy, so I just gave up. Here is the issue. Sarah, my fiance, comes from a very family-oriented background. Family is everything to her. When her family asked about mine, I said that my dad had passed away and that my mom was busy with her family and lived across the country. She actually lives a 1-hour drive from us, but this is what Sarah had told them, so I didn't correct her. Technically, I didn't lie entirely. Sarah asked me to invite my family to our wedding. I told her no. She said it's very embarrassing to have only my aunt and her family on my side. I reluctantly invited my mom. She called and demanded that I apologize to Bob, my stepsister, and my half-siblings for not inviting them and then invite them all. I told her no. She said I was being ungrateful and that Bob was a father figure to me. I had a big argument with my mom over this. My mom now says the only way she will come is if I invite Bob, his daughter, and their kids. Sarah is now pushing me to invite them all because she doesn't want to feel embarrassed in front of her family. These people never even gave me a card or said happy birthday to me, so I see no reason to celebrate my big day with them. I, on the other hand, don't want to let my fiance down. I just don't know what to do. Should I swallow my ego and invite my family so my fiance will be happy? I suggested eloping, but Sarah is a firm no. Am I the asshole for ruining my fiance's day by not fulfilling her wish? Edit. Sarah knows everything about my life. My aunt even talked to her about how they treated me when I was growing up. Edit 2. I will have a serious talk with Sarah tonight. I'll try to update soon. The next day, OP created an update. The post is titled, "Thank you for your comments and messages. They really gave me perspective on my life. I sat Sarah down last night and explained my reasoning for not inviting my family. She kept saying, that was a long time ago. They might not be the same people anymore. I felt offended and said, how on earth are you lecturing me when you've never even met them? Well, it turned out my mother had been in touch with Sarah. Sarah said they regularly meet for coffee dates and talk. I was about to cry because I was so angry. My mom had changed the whole narrative, saying Bob was a father figure, a good protective dad, and that it was me who didn't love him back because apparently it's my thing to play the victim. She claimed my aunt manipulated me and stole me from their family, trying to be a replacement for my mom. According to her, it's all about my mother. I screamed, "Are you for real? The next time you're on a coffee date with her, ask why I never had a birthday party growing up. Why was there never a gift under the tree for me? Ask Bob if he even knows when my birthday is, since he was such a loving dad. Why did my aunt have to pick me up before Christmas Eve? Because Bob wanted to spend the holiday with his kids, not with another man's mistake." Sarah basically repeated what my mom has told me my whole life. You just love to make a big deal out of everything, make yourself a victim, and push everyone away. I told her she had no right to contact my mom. She said I was cruel and claimed that she was just trying to help me mend my broken relationship. She even called my mom lovely and said Bob has changed a lot. He's now an LGBTQ ally now that his princess is out. I was floored. An ally. Maybe he should start by apologizing to me for terrorizing my entire childhood. I told Sarah we are done. I can't do this. Sarah sarcastically said, "You just proved your mom's point. Go run to your aunt. Let that old witch run your life." I told her she needs to find a new place, considering she's not paying rent. I am. She got mad and asked what excuse I was going to make up this time to justify my bullshit trauma. I stopped replying. She went on a tirade, breaking our dinner plates. I didn't care. I texted my aunt, who asked if I wanted to spend the night at her place. I said I was fine. I'm taking time off from work. I cleaned up the kitchen, which was full of broken dishware, this morning because I didn't want my cats to accidentally get hurt. Sarah is still sleeping. I'm going to see how I can legally evict her. I'm a complete mess, but I'll talk to my aunt and uncle for help. Yes, I'm not going to start dating again until I see a therapist and work on myself. I can't keep going through this. The final update was posted 5 weeks later. I still get messages asking for an update. Sarah finally moved out. Her family cursed me, my aunt, and my uncle as they were packing her things. I asked my aunt and uncle to be there because I was terrified of her family. Luckily, they didn't do anything crazy, just made a lot of verbal attacks. My mom left me a nasty voicemail. She said I'm a worthless human being and that I blew the best thing that ever happened to me over some childish resentments. She said, "That's who you are, an ungrateful, spoiled brat." She claimed her husband raised me and I was ungrateful. Whatever, Mom, leave me alone. I met with a therapist that I liked, but he is going to retire soon due to health issues. He referred me to his colleague. So, new year, new therapist. I'm not dating, I'm doing a lot of social activities with my friends. Overall, I'm very happy. What's the next step? Who knows? Maybe I'll save my money to take my auntie on a nice vacation. I don't have many plans, to be honest. In the comments, a user named Heda Kooni said, "I hope Sarah ends up with an asshole that's just like her and makes her miserable." Another user named Chronically Thinking said, "I know the huge red flag was her meeting her mom behind her back, but breaking plates is a huge glaring flag for future domestic abuse." This next post was made in the Off My Chest subreddit by a user named Alternative Sync. The post is titled, "I found out why my husband hides his best friend from me. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I'm writing this on a throwaway because I have friends who use Reddit on occasion. I, 26F, have been married to my husband, Dylan, 26M, for 3 years. We got together when we were 17, but we've known each other since the 4th grade. I love my husband. He's the total package. Funny, sweet, smart, and attractive. He has made my life amazing, and he's who I fully intend on spending the rest of my life with. We attended all the same schools from the time we met up until college. In that time, we've both made our own friend groups. He's been more connected with his friends than I have, and because of that, I've become a part of the group as well. Or so I'd like to think. I've been at around 50% of their group hangouts, mostly because of my job, but sometimes I'm just straight up not invited. I didn't question any of this because, hey, they're his friends. He doesn't see them nearly as often as he sees me, so it's not my business. My husband met his best friend, Caro, 27M, long before he met me. I knew almost nothing about Caro until recently. He wasn't at our wedding, nor did he attend any of the same schools as us, and I was under the impression he wasn't friends with anyone in our group. I thought all of this was because of his line of work, as I was told he traveled a lot. Last year, my husband and I went to a barbecue hosted by another couple in the group. Caro was there. I didn't recognize him at first, but when I realized who he was, I was honestly kind of shocked. I had seen him in person before, but he always kept a very good distance from me, which I'm now realizing was intentional. Anyway, he's stunning. He looks like he could be a supermodel. When I attempted to make conversation with him, he seemed really nervous and totally shut me down after a few sentences. When I mentioned this behavior to anyone else, they also shut me down, saying things like, that's just how he is, or maybe you said something that offended him. In short, no one would tell me anything about Caro at all. Any conversation that involved him was a no-go. At the end of that night, I tried talking to Dylan about his behavior. He told me Caro didn't like me. I was confused because I'd hardly seen him in person, let alone actually talk to him. The excuse my husband gave was that Caro disliked me because I cheated on him once in college, and Caro was too stubborn to let it go. I've seen Caro less than a dozen times since then, mostly at birthday parties, huge get-togethers, and on one occasion, he came to our house to watch a football game with my husband and a few of their other buddies. Anyway, a few weeks ago, my husband went fishing with his cousin. That same night, I had some of the girls from our friend group over for a girls' night. Lily, 24F, was scrolling through social media. I was glancing over her shoulder when I saw a selfie of Dylan and Caro sitting next to each other in a hot tub. The selfie had been posted maybe 30 minutes ago. I asked Lily about what I had seen and she went pale. She tried to say nothing, but I snatched the phone from her and went to the profile that had posted the photo. The profile belonged to my husband. It was a private profile, and scrolling through the photos, most of them were dirty jokes or memes, but the rest were photos of him and Caro. They were either hanging out alone or with the rest of the group, minus me. In most of the photos, they seemed way too close, too touchy, or to be doing things that seemed too personal or intimate for friends. I spent a good 10 minutes looking before I couldn't take it anymore. I was horrified. All of the photos were dated to nights when my husband had told me he was working late, hanging out with this relative or that, or doing something else. And obviously, hangouts I wasn't invited to. Lily just sat there looking stunned. She didn't say anything, but all the girls were looking at us like a bomb had just gone off. They clearly knew what I had seen, and their reactions were enough to confirm exactly what I was afraid of. I was livid. I started yelling, Lily was crying, and the rest of the girls were freaking out. When I started to calm down, I demanded that they explain what was going on, and Lily told me everything. Dylan and Caro had been sleeping together and essentially dating behind my back since before we even got married. They got together during a 1-month break Dylan and I had during college, and they've stuck together ever since. They all knew, and none of them told me until I found out the hard way. Caro wasn't at our wedding because he felt guilty. He avoided me like the plague because he felt guilty. They arranged group meetups in a group chat I wasn't in because they all liked Caro enough to spare his feelings. Apparently, even the guys in the group felt the same way about him. Caro was never as distant as I thought. He was just being hidden from me. Dylan was hiding him because he didn't want me to find out they were together. By the end of it, half of us were sobbing, and everyone who wasn't was apologizing to me. I was so angry. I made them swear they wouldn't say anything to Dylan or anyone else. I kicked them all out and cried myself to sleep. I was basically in denial, like it was some kind of sick prank. My husband didn't come home until the next morning. He told me all about the supposed fishing trip he'd gone on. I didn't say anything about what I knew. I guess he could tell something was up because he kept asking me what was wrong all day, every 5 minutes. Eventually, I just told him I'd been in an argument with my sister. By the end of the week, I was totally numb. Last night, while my husband was handing out candy to kids, I saw a notification pop up on his phone. Since I knew his password, I opened it. It was a text from Caro. I looked through the conversations they'd had and it confirmed everything. It was devastating. Dylan texted Caro the exact same way he texted me. He told Caro he loved him. Every sweet thing he said to me had been said in his conversations with Caro. I was hardly mentioned. I put his phone back before he noticed. Dylan is at work now. I don't know what to do. I could never imagine leaving Dylan because he's such a loving partner and a good man. But I can't see myself winning in a competition against Caro if that's what it comes down to. I can't even make myself be disgusted or angered by Dylan. I love him too much. I'm not even upset with Caro, but I'm so hurt. I don't want to risk losing my husband, and I don't want to share him. I called Lily and my sister this morning and told them what I had found. They both asked what I was going to do, and I had nothing to say. I don't know what to do at all. The next day, OP went and posted 2 additional updates. Hi, I really appreciate the support and advice I was given on my last post. Dylan came home last night around 10 p.m. I had a whole speech prepared to confront him with, but I could only manage to say, I know about you and Caro. I'll spare the details of the conversation because it's still raw, but he left around midnight. He only took a few of his things. I haven't spoken to him since, aside from him telling me he was coming to get more of his things. After our conversation, I've decided to go through with a divorce. I've collected all the necessary information and will be getting in touch with a lawyer shortly. Again, thank you all for the advice and for helping me come to my senses. I was unaware it was a big trend to repost Reddit posts on TikTok. This is what happened with my first post, and the video has almost 700,000 views. A friend of mine, Noah, whom I am name dropping because I know he will see this and I appreciate him dearly, forwarded me the video because he knew it was my post. I had explained the situation to him prior and he knew I had posted it. There are several things I want to address, and I ask that whoever made the video, because they clearly use Reddit, post this too to clear my name. Everybody in my life knows by now, so I see no harm in addressing this publicly. To recap, yes, I am leaving Dylan. No, I did not actually cheat on him. It was a huge misunderstanding between the two of us that led him to believe and to tell people that I had cheated. I don't even know if what he told me about Caro's dislike for me is or was true. No, I am not going to sue him for everything he has. I will no longer be speaking to anyone from that friend group. I may have been naive, but I am not stupid. No, I still do not know why they chose to betray me like that, and I don't intend to find out. Yes, while his parents were accepting of LGBTQ people, I don't think they would have been okay with Dylan marrying a man. From here on out, I doubt I will have anything else to say. That is all. Thank you. Also, I have never watched Brokeback Mountain, but the jokes about it did make me chuckle. Then about 8 months later, OP created a third update. About 8 months ago, I posted here seeking a release from an ugly, brutal situation involving my cheating, now ex-husband. I've been working really hard on getting better, and since then I've been doing okay until a week and a half ago. 10 days ago, I heard from one too many distant mutual friends that Caro left Dylan. It makes me so happy to hear that he got what he deserved. The man he had to have left him. Unfortunately, Caro hasn't received his end of the karma and is still just as fucking perfect as the day I found out he was having an affair with my husband. However, I'd be lying if I said I cared or had any ill will toward him. I don't. Only toward my ex-husband. Hell, if I saw him in a parking lot, I'd sprint over, shake his hand, and tell him I'm glad he delivered my ex-husband his much-deserved karma. I don't know how Dylan is doing now, but I hope he sees how it hurts being betrayed like that. Anyway, you can consider this the end of the line. No more updates, no nothing. All I can and will do from now on is heal. In the comments, a user named Palabradot said, "Fuck everyone except the OP." When I read this, I get not quite our kind vibes from the friend group, and that's why they didn't feel the need to tell her. Is it just me? Another user named Hail to the King said, "It's interesting how Dylan and Caro's relationship couldn't survive the divorce, even though they'd been together for such a long time prior. It's almost as if the thing holding them together was the need to be secretive about it, and once they dragged their shadow relationship into the sunlight, it couldn't survive. I doubt Caro was avoiding her out of guilt. It's much more likely he was avoiding her so as not to give the affair away. Fuck them and those fake friends." Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.